all, Abby Unger from Flight Attendant Career Connection back with another episode of Tell Me Tuesday, where every Tuesday I take a question straight from the Flight Attendant Interview Workbook and not only let you know what the question is, I also let you know what the answer is, or at least what I would say if I was in a flight attendant interview. So everyone's skills and experiences are different, so your story is not going to be the same as mine, but I hope that my answer jogs your memory and maybe lets you know if you're heading in the right direction or not with your instinct on how you would answer the question. Like I said, the question comes from the Flight Attendant Interview Workbook, which is available online at www.flightattendantcareerconnection.com. So you can purchase either the PDF download, which will be instantly emailed to your inbox, or you can purchase a physical copy that will be instantly mailed to your mailbox, which isn't so instant, right? Okay, so again, the website www.flightattendantcareerconnection.com. So what about this week's question, right? So tell me about a time that you faced an emergency situation. Well, thankfully, I haven't had the opportunity to face too many emergency situations, but one time when in my last job, I worked at a bank and we unfortunately were robbed one time. I was working on the drive-through and the girl that was standing basically behind me, she was standing facing into the lobby behind her teller stand and she said my name and I turned around and I could just see that she was afraid that something was obviously wrong, and I asked her what's wrong, and she said that she had just been passed a note that was demanding money. And she was so stunned when she got the note that she actually just stood there for a few beats and looked at the robber, and it was enough to spook him into grabbing the note, and he left the bank, and she immediately turned around and let me know. And so I told her, all of my training kicked in. I told her, pull your alarm. I let the lobby manager know that we had just, someone had attempted to rob us. He locked the front door. All the other tellers did exactly what they were supposed to do. They locked their drawers. They logged out of their computers. They stepped back. They put away their keys. Everyone was following procedure. The corporate security office called. I was actually the one that answered the phone. They wanted to verify that it was a real alarm, and we did need the police to come out, which we did. So the police were dispatched, and everyone gave their statements. The girl who had received the note, she had a statement. She was able to work with a sketch artist, and they were able to get a really good description of him. And thankfully, they actually caught the robber. More importantly than that, though, no money was stolen, and no one was hurt. So even though that situation was a little bit like nerve wracking from the back end, I was kind of amazed at the way we all worked together. The training kicked in, and because of the security things that the bank had put into place and had taught us, we were safe, and nothing was and no money was even stolen, and no one was hurt. All right, so that would be my answer. So that's a real story about what happened to me one time when I worked at a bank before I was a flight attendant. Um, so you may not have ever been involved in a bank robbery, though. That's a pretty big, splashy story, even though in the end, thankfully, there was nothing really scary. It's just a scary story. Um, but maybe you have been involved in a car accident. Maybe you've seen a car accident. Maybe even back when you were in high school, someone fell down and you stayed with them, held their hand until the paramedics came or until the teacher came. It could be a small story of something that could have been an emergency, or it could be a big, huge story, even bigger than mine. But hopefully, this sort of jars your memory, gets you thinking, gets the juices flowing a little bit. So I'd love to hear your answer. Leave it for me in a comment on the blog, www.flightattendantcareerconnection.com. You can leave it on the Facebook page. You can leave it here on the YouTube page. But I just love to hear it. And I think the more that we practice, the more times you tell your story, the better you're going to get and the less nervous you're going to be in that real flight attendant interview. So again, I'm Abby Unger from Flight Attendant Career Connection. Let me know if there's anything else I can do for you. And don't forget to come back next week for another episode of Tell Me Tuesday.